Welcome to our winter and spring sports banquet. Thank you all for joining us today, parents, students, faculty, administration. Before we move forward, I would like to invite Assistant Principal Galloway to come up and say the Pledge of Allegiance for us.
Good evening, everybody. I know we ate some good food, but can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you very much, Assistant Principal Galloway. Before we move forward and invite our coaches up and celebrate our student athletes, I first just want to give a few thank yous on the behalf of the athletic program. First to the Board of Education for supporting athletics and our new ideas, our new everything that we just try and do to make a better and better program for our student athletes. Also my fellow administrators for also supporting us. The coaches and everything they do. This obviously wouldn't be possible without the coaches. So we will continue to acknowledge them as we move to the night, but obviously a huge part, the main part of our athletic program. And also our student athletes, right? They're the ones who we are mainly celebrating here tonight. They've all done a great job this year, especially this winter and spring season, which we're celebrating tonight. And to go along with our student athletes is our parents and families and guardians and the community as a whole, who do a great job of supporting our student athletes and the school and the athletic program as well. Also a special thank you to the Booster Club, who does a great job providing a little extra something for our student athletes. I want to make sure we continue to acknowledge them and support them and really appreciate what they do for our student athletes. Also would like to give a big thank you to Patty and Mark Steinhoff, who I think is in the crowd here today. They allowed us to use their name and supported the Steinhoff Cup, which was a very successful event. So I want to give a big shout out to them as well as all of our other sponsors and all the other families, community members, businesses that came together to help us put together such a nice event, the Steinhoff Cup. And lastly, I would like to thank Ms. Orr and Mr. Chasen, a part of the athletic office, and all they do. If you've ever stopped by the athletic office, you know that this wouldn't be possible. Many of our sports, many of our programs wouldn't be possible without Ms. Orr, so big shout out to her as well. Very much appreciated. And if we can just give a big round of applause to everybody that I just thanked, everybody that makes this program go, everybody that really supports us. All right, so moving forward for tonight, we do have 2 seasons that we will be going through. So we're going to start with the winter season. So I'll invite up the coaches. They will give their awards, speak a bit about their student athletes, and then they will read off the roster of the remaining athletes on the team, because we want to make sure we are acknowledging and appreciating all the work that all of our student athletes are doing, all the time and effort they put in, even if they are not getting an individual award tonight. So without further ado, we will invite up our varsity wrestling coach, Coach Dorda.
So first, I'd like to thank all the parties that made this event possible. Thank you to the Board of Education, the faculty and staff, the athletic department, and most importantly, our student athletes and their families. I'd like to start off by saying that it's always been a big goal for me to become a coach, so I'm glad I was offered the position this winter. It was a great experience, and I'm looking forward to continuing and developing the program next year. The group of wrestlers I had this year were all sophomores, so it's thrilling to know that each and every one of them grew a lot, both in the classroom and on the mat this year, and I'm more than excited to see just how well they excel next year as juniors and beyond. I'd like to thank each and every one of my wrestlers for showing up each and every day and working their tails off. Without further ado, I'd like to present the athletes of the varsity wrestling team, starting with our 2 captains, Patrick Nolan and Austin Sahlstrom. The other athletes on the varsity wrestling team were Tyler Dams, Cassius Gray, and Justin Horrell. A little bit about our season. There were 3 wrestlers that qualified for and participated in sections this year: Justin Horrell, Austin Sahlstrom, and Patrick Nolan. In fact, Patrick Nolan went all the way to place 6th in the section for his weight class, and I'm more than impressed with how each and every one of the athletes I was able to coach progressed through the season. And last but not least, I'd like to present 2 awards tonight. The first award I'd like to present is for Best Sportsmanship. This athlete never complained, even when given a bad break, and was more than competitive in each and every match that he wrestled. He went above and beyond expectations set by everyone. Best Sportsmanship goes to Patrick Nolan. And lastly, the second award is for Excellent Leadership. This athlete was often the first to practice, pushing each and every teammate to be better every day. He demonstrated his leadership in and out of the classroom and was never afraid to be the demonstration dummy. The thing that impressed me the most is when I told him that I was upset he was being forced to move up and wrestle at a higher weight than he was used to for sections. He looked at me and said, "That's all right, coach. I just want to wrestle." So I'd like to present the award for Excellent Leadership to Austin Sahlstrom.
Thank you very much, Coach Dorda. One more time, can we give a round of applause to our wrestling team and Coach Dorda? I will say, in attending the wrestling events, I did see the team improve match after match, and I do believe that the programs can continue to grow, and our student athletes are going to continue to improve, and it's in good hands moving forward. So thank you very much, Coach. So next up in our winter season, we have our girls indoor track with Coach Grigliano.
I got one. Do you want them in great order though? Doesn't matter. Good evening, everybody. I want to start out, as most of us will tonight, thanking everybody that helped us out this season. I have one assistant coach, but we kind of look at it as we're one full program, which is why we all came up together. My assistant coach, Coach Eccles. That's you. Our boys head coach, Mr. Jack Wilson. And down in the crowd to come up with us, our volunteer assistant that was a big help this year, an Ellenville legend, Mr. Jack Carter. So first, I'm going to run down the roster. First up, we have an 11th grader, Captain Victoria Bonnets. 9th grader, we're going to do them all. Hold the applause till the end. Guys, if you're here, please stand up. 9th grader, Aliana Castano. Sophomore, Rihanna Collins-Cox. Junior, Caroline Connor. Senior, Soraya Cromwell. Senior and Captain, Sarai Cruz. Senior, Skylar Davis. Junior, Riley Deshon. Senior, Iris Dumornay. Senior, Sarah Gonzalez. Freshman, Isabella Lewis Rivera. Sophomore, Kylie Oliver. Junior, Michaela Reyes. Senior, Joyce Lee Rodriguez. Senior, Lauren Story. Junior, Sienna Thomas. Sophomore, Jayana Torres. Senior, Captain, Garciana Walters. And sophomore, who unfortunately moved and isn't with us here anymore, Amira Washington. I'd also like to take a moment to thank the athletic office, Miss Orr, Mr. Salomon, for supporting us throughout the season. But a big thanks goes out to the parents for indoor track. We go a lot of places far away and a lot of late nights, and it involves coming to pick up your kids well after 11, 12 o'clock. So we truly appreciate the parents getting everybody out there and doing those things for your kids. We had 2 school records get broken this season. Garciano Walters set a new school record in the 1,500 meter race walk with a time of 8 minutes, 55 seconds, .90. Good job, Garciano. And our other school record was set by Victoria Bonnets in the 600 with a time of 1:47.63. Our 2 award winners, we have, I was right what they both say, right? They both say the same thing. Sorry, I filled these out a while ago. Yeah? Okay, our first one, I did 2 MVPs because it was such a big team, and I really picked 2 people that are leaders both on the track, at practice, put the effort in, and, you know, lead by example. The first one is senior captain Sarai Cruz. It's a long way. And our other award winner is another captain, junior Victoria Bonnets. Go there first. Okay, now stepping up, we're going to have the boys' head coach, Coach Wilson. Hold on, sorry. I don't keep track of my own stuff. I did 3 awards. Sorry. Our last award, I'm happy I did it, and it makes me feel good that I wanted to honor this one because she did do a great job. The Blue Devil Award, I used to call it the dedication, determination, and then I was told it was too many letters. So I made it the Blue Devil Award. This athlete has to run the gritty events. The 3K, the 15, the 4x8. It's a lot in one day. It's tough, and got improved each time in PR after PR. Jayana Torres. Sorry, Jay, I did not mean to forget you. I didn't know I did 3. Yeah, I didn't know there were 3. That's on me. Sorry, Jay, didn't mean to forget you. And now, Coach Wilson.
Hey.
All right. So I'm going to start off again, same with what other coaches are saying. Big thanks to everyone that makes this season possible. Thank you to the parents, again, waking up, staying up late at night to pick up your kids after we come back from one of our fun track meets. So real quick, I'm going to go through our boys varsity indoor track list. Please hold applause until I'm done reading through the list. All right. So we have 9th grader Jonah Oldhouse, 9th grader Isaac Calderon, 9th grader Landon Wood, 9th grader Osmond Hawk, 9th grader Giovanni Gonzalez, 10th grader Xavier Brown, 10th grader Ryan Conklin, 10th grader Evan Levine, 10th grade Frankie Maldonado, 10th grade Omar Martinez, 10th grade Akai Murdoch, 10th grade Caleb Nora Rodan, 10th grader Scott Ramos, 10th grader Jonathan Conacher, 10th grader Christian Zielinski, 11th grader Pedro Bonachea, 11th grader Marcus Luis Rivera, 11th grader Wyatt Marinico, 11th grader Anthony Murdoch, 11th grader Elijah Robinson, 11th grader Jonathan Torres, 11th grader Nathaniel Valdez, and last but not least our senior Justin Bridge Mahone. So I'll start off with the season summary. So the season went exceptionally well, to say the least. We took home a division title for the first time since 2012, and we saw many personal bests for many athletes on the team. The dedication and hard work that I witnessed from the group is hard to find, and I enjoyed working with all of the athletes this year. This program has steadily improved over the past few years, and I am excited to see the improvement continue into next year. So moving on to my athletic award winners, I have 3 in total. I'll start off the first one. This one goes for MVP of the season. This athlete is one of our hardest workers and has completely fallen in love with the sport. They work hard day in and day out. They amassed 30 points at our division championship to help lead the team to a division championship title by placing first in all of their events. I look forward to the future in the sport and wish them good luck at Nationals this weekend. The MVP award goes to Christian Zielinski. Oh my god. Nice job. All right, now moving on to my sprinter of the season. Now I have to say real quick, my sprinters this season really worked hard, and this athlete is always consistent when it comes to workouts and races. They are someone that I can depend on to run multiple events and relays in one day. When it comes to indoor track, they have embraced the 300-meter distance as their race and have shown a ton of improvement within the event itself with multiple 300-meter races under 40 seconds. I hope to see them continue to improve in the season to come. The Sprint MVP award goes to Pedro Bonachea. Yo, just keep rubbing your head. All right, now for the last award. So this award is the Distance Runner of the Season award, or best distance runner, basically. This athlete is my go-to Swiss Army knife athlete. He can run anything from a 400 to a mile and maybe even a 2 mile if I ask nicely. They performed exceptionally well in the mid-distance category and even qualified for the state qualifier this year for the 600-meter dash. This athlete leads every workout and has an exceptional can-do attitude. The Distance Runner of the Year award goes to Nate Valdez. $127 next year, buddy. Of course.
Once again, thank you to the girls and boys varsity indoor track team. You can see from the size of those rosters and the enthusiasm that it really is a thriving program. It continues to succeed both in the winter and in the spring, which we'll get more to that in a little bit. But again, it's in great hands, and I couldn't be more proud of our track program, all of our coaches involved. Moving forward, we are now moving on to girls varsity basketball with Coach Burns.
Good evening. Congratulations to all of the student athletes being recognized tonight. It's been a successful year for Elmville sports, and we are especially going to graduating senior athletes. To begin, I'd like to Call each member of the varsity basketball team, so stand up when you hear your name. Freshmen Tawana Harrington and Nevaeh Ramos. Sophomore Dalianis Ortega. Juniors Nancy Alarkin, I butchered that. Veda Stewart, Nashley Vera, and Nevaeh Van Dunk. Seniors Nevaeh Roller, Jillian Schaub, and Dara Ortiz. A couple quick thank yous. Thank you to Coach Eccles and Coach Steele for being my assistants. Coach Steele did a great job with our JV team. And Coach Eccles often stayed at late practices and sat on the bench with the team after her own track practice to help the girls. Also, a shout out to Coach Bonas, who fields quite a few phone calls for me throughout the winter season when I'm feeling frustrated. And also a big thank you to all of our families who've made sacrifices for their kid to be a part of a committed team. Our season was full of ups and downs, and sometimes it may have felt like more downs than ups. After losing almost our entire starting lineup, we did our best to put together a team that felt like always missing that last piece of the puzzle. With low numbers, we managed to successfully keep a varsity JV and modified girls team the entire season. I'm proud of the effort and resiliency that the girls showed throughout a trying season. There were many games where it could have been easy to give up and throw in the towel, but it never really felt like anyone was ready to do that. As we all know, the winter season is long, cold, and dark. It is not easy to come back to school at 5 o'clock and practice after already having gone home and began to unwind. However, the girls always show up, they always worked hard, and they continue to get better every day. This year I have 2 co-MVPs. Both players have a ton of skill and a good knowledge of the game. There were only a few times that either of the girls had to sit on the bench, one maybe a little bit more than the other because of quick foul trouble, but there wasn't a time that they weren't needed on the court. Both girls can score pretty much whenever they want by creating their own shots. There were times that they were face guarded or given the other team's best defender. Excited to have both girls back next year and look forward to seeing what they do together. This year's co-MVPs are Nashley Vera and Nevaeh Ramos. Nevaeh Ramos was also selected to be on the Mahal All-Star team and was selected as the BCANY Top 50 Players of Section 9. My last award is the Player of the Year award. Our Player of the Year embodies everything that a student athlete should be. She is a leader both on and off the court, a constant positive presence during practices and games, and a competitive force that drives any team she is on. She gives 150%, 100% of the time. She's been an absolute pleasure to coach for the last 6 years, and we are sad to see her go. She has truly left her mark on Elmville athletics. This year's Player of the Year award goes to Nevaeh Roller. This is also the second hug she's going to give me in the last 2 weeks, so I know she's a little uncomfortable.
Thank you very much, Coach Burns, Coach Eccles. With the young team, I know the future is bright for our girls varsity basketball team. Look forward to what we do in the future. Last but not least, to round out our winter season is our boys varsity basketball team and Coach Bonnets.
I'd like to begin by congratulating Coach Wilson on the great haircut. Good evening. I'd like to begin by congratulating all of the athletes tonight. Your hard work and dedication to your sport is impressive, and it's been fun to watch. For some thank yous. First, two giant thank yous to Coach Kraft and Coach Paulson, my assistant and our JV coach, and my assistant. A round of applause for these guys, please. I honestly couldn't do this job for as long as I've done it, as well as we've done it, without these two guys. I'd also like to thank Coach Mecking for continuing to lead our modified team and providing me with talent year after year after year. A really big, special, extra big thank you to Kim Orr. Is Kim here? Kim, stand up. Come on, Kim. Stand up, Kim. It cannot be, we can't say it enough how important Kim is to the athletic program. She's always there answering questions, handling orders, answering the phones, doing rescheduling, and she's a huge part of the team. I think I speak for all the coaches. I couldn't do without you, Kim. Thank you very much. Let me introduce my team here. Junior Malik Barrett, Junior Kwaku Bowen, Junior John Caban, Junior Alan Ibrick, Junior Navon James, Junior Nohan Oliver, Junior Colton Piquel. Stand up, guys, come on. Senior Tristan Albert, Senior Captain Duvon Douglas, Senior Christian Bruce, Senior KJ Jackson, Senior Captain Jason Kinsey, Senior Javen McComb, Senior Dylan Nero, and Senior Captain Matt Van Meter. We had a very special season this year, finishing 18-3, 9-0 in the league, winning the MHAL Division III title, with 2 unforgettable wins versus SPAC and 2 great wins against Rhinebeck. My favorite moment of the season was playing at SPAC. The kids came out hungry, played together, worked their tails off on defense, and blew out a very talented SPAC team on their court. These wins qualified us for the MHL Championship, where we beat a very talented Mountain Academy team to win the National Conference title. Unfortunately, we fell a few points short versus Lords in the championship game. We went on to earn the #1 seed in sectionals, beat a Rhinebeck team for the 3rd time in the semifinals, and lost a tough game to Burke in the championship game. There were many talented players on this team, and my message all season was to work hard, stay together, and play defense like a champion. And I thought we did that, and I'm really proud of all we accomplished. Let's get some trophy winners. For his tenacity on the court, for his speed, for his defense, for the way he relentlessly attacked the basket, for his 19.9 points per game, and a whopping 418 points scored this season, second most in my career to that guy right there. Jason Kinsey is the MVP. Jason was also named a National Conference All-Star, selected by the coaches, and he was named to the All Basketball Coaches Association of New York All-Star team. For his incredible improvement in shooting this year, hitting an amazing 44 threes. His improvement in leadership on defense, his 18.8 points per game, scoring an amazing 394 points. I am proud to award Christian Jackson the Most Improved Player. Christian was also named a National Conference All-Star and a member of the 23-24 Section 9B Candy All-Star Team. I'd also like to call up Duvon Douglas, who was also named to the National Conference All-Star Team. Alrighty, buddy. Thank you. Lastly, sometimes there's a special player on your team that maybe didn't fill up the stat sheet every game, but was still invaluable to the success of the team. For his hard work at practice, for his positive attitude and leadership, for his commitment to Ellenville basketball, I named Tristan Albert Player of the Year. There you go. Thank you.
Sorry, we got it. Thank you very much, Coach. It was definitely an excellent season, a thrill to watch. I know the basketball program will continue to move forward with Coach Bonnets, Coach Paulson, Coach Kraft really leading the way. Before we move forward and get to the next portion of our ceremony here, I do want to take some time out and to acknowledge a milestone that we had on the boys basketball team. As many of you may know, Coach Bonnets was able to get his 200th win this year. So it's really really an impressive feat, and we wanted to recognize Coach Bonnets as a district, as athletic department, and present him with an award as well. So Coach Bonnets, please come on up. There you go, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Don't drop it. Yo. Congrats again, Coach, and congrats to all of our student athletes and coaches and parents and families that made the winter season a success. Before we move on to our spring season, I do want to take a second to identify our New York State Public High School Scholar Athlete teams. We did have 2 teams that qualified for that award in the winter season, our girls indoor track and our boys indoor track varsity teams. So, and what that means, if you're unaware, it's 75% or more of the team had over a 90% or higher GPA. So it's a great feat, and it's really a testament to the work of our student athletes. We also did have individual student athletes who qualified as scholar athletes. So now I will read the list of those scholar athletes. When I do so, if I read your name, please stand. And then at the end, we will give one round of applause to all of our scholar athletes. And again, this is for the second marking period. Alan Ibrick, Colton Piquel, Nevaeh Roller, Cassius Gray, Victoria Bonnets, Caroline Connor, Soraya Quarnwell, Soraya Cruz, Skylar Davis, Riley Deshawn, Christian Dumernay, Sarah Gonzalez, Isabella Lewis Rivera, Michaela Reyes, Lauren Story, Jonah Allhouse, Aiden Blovelt, Isaac Calderon, Jonathan Conacher, Giovanni Gonzalez, Marcus Lewis Rivera, Evan Levine, Anthony Murdoch, Scott Ramos, Christian Zielinski, Dylan Nero, and Dalianos Ortega. Let's give a round of applause to our scholar athletes. All right, that concludes our winter athletic season, so we now move on to the spring. And the first team and coach we'd like to welcome up is Coach McKeever from Varsity Boys Tennis.
Oh, perfect. Got a list here.
Yep.
I think I got all my bits, but. All right. Good evening, everybody. First, I want to give a big thanks to Ms. Kim Orr and Mr. Matt Solomon for their dedication and help to try to develop this program. It was extremely helpful, and I look forward to working with them for many seasons. My team this year was Devin Ramirez, 9th grader, Taylor Drake, 11th grader, Matt Redder-Jones, 12th grader, Sal Maciel, 12th grader, Silas Millis, 12th grader, Dominic Moza, 12th grader, Jameer Ragland, 12th grader, Yadi Alvira, 12th grader, and Austin Wood, 12th grader. This year we had a tough season filled with a lot of learning and unfortunate injuries. Out of 10 of our players, 7 of them played tennis for the first time, and they really stepped to the plate, starting in starting positions, even though it was their first time. Due to rain in most of March and the beginning of April, many of our matches were rescheduled, and we were often playing 4 matches every week. These boys really gave everything they had and left no gas in the tank at the end of the season. I want to give a big shout out to Reggie Steele. Words cannot describe how valuable you are to this program. He shows up every single day, provides tips, strategies, and insights that will help create a positive environment. He often came early to practice and stayed late, giving these boys extra time to play and learn. Unfortunately, no matter how hard I try, I will never be able to bake better than Reggie. And it always lights up the room when we find out that Reggie brought cookies to a practice. This year I have one award, and it's named after Mr. Steele, and I'm calling it the Heart of Steel Award. This goes to the player that gave 100% throughout the season. This player started with me as a sophomore and quickly fell in love with the sport. He spent countless hours on the court, often asking to stay late and play longer. He would sit on the floor in my classroom and watch videos of tennis drills and professional matches, looking on ways to improve. Unfortunately, an injury last season ended his season early, and the same injury flared up this season, ending his senior season 5 matches early. No matter the injury, this player still wanted to be on the court at all times, to the point where I literally had to make somebody watch him and make sure he was sitting at the bench outside the courts. This year, my Heart of Steel award goes to Austin Wood. Austin, there you are.
Thank you very much to the Varsity Boys Tennis team, Coach McKeever. Congratulations on a season well played. All right. Next up, I'd like to welcome Coach Mead for the Varsity Girls Golf team. Oh, he's already here. Need this?
I have one, thank you. All right, thanks for coming out tonight. Big thank you to Mrs. Orr, Mr. Salamone. Again, their support is countless. It's endless. Girls golf isn't, the most prominent sport at Ellenville, but when I go in and ask for something, they're usually able to deliver. So that comes from them. That comes from the top central office admin, everybody. So thank you for your support with that. The staff at Ellenville has been great. We have a lot of teachers who support our student athletes, so thank you to them. Thank you to Miss Amore. We had so many girls this year, and unfortunately only 4 are allowed to travel and play. So when you have more than half of your team that can't travel and can't play, Miss Amore was nice enough to get her credentials in order so she could be an assistant coach and hold a practice at the Gunk while we were traveling, so thank you for that. And to the Village of Ellenville, thank you for all of your support in allowing our kids, boys and girls golfers, to come to the course and walk at any time they want, pretty much year round. And then lastly, our athletes. We had 9 girls this year, 9 kids, and it was a lot to juggle at first, and I started to realize all of our kids are just, when you're in a small community school like this, if you want other things to thrive, the other activities outside of athletics, jazz band, those other enriching activities, we need this pool of people right here to do more than just play a sport. We had a lot of those kids, so we were able to juggle it, and they were at practice every day that they could, while also still keeping all those other things going. So awesome job, and thank you. My first year coaching 3 years ago, we had 4 girls, and the 4th was, first time ever playing, and she wasn't sure what she was getting herself into, but she kept coming back, which was great. Last year we had 6 girls, and this year we had 9. So we only lose 2 with our seniors, 7 players coming back next year. So little by little we're building up a pretty nice golf program here. We have 2 trophies we're going to hand out. We had, for the first time this year in a while, we had a student athlete for us qualify for sectionals. It was something where we kind of knew she could do it, and she just got better and better as the season went on and was able to qualify, and then she went and really represented herself well, so we'll talk more about that in a minute. But let's talk about our trophies. Our first one is, we just call it a sportsmanship award. Golf is a tough sport. If you've ever played the game of golf, like actually played golf, not like just gone and taken 50 mulligans until you get a par on the hole and then you feel pretty good because you say you shot a 42 or something like that, but actually go and play and like play by the rules of golf. This is one of the toughest sports out there because you hit a ball really long, sometimes you can't find it, and then you just have to sit there and think about it for a couple minutes while other people are looking for their ball, and you just get more and more upset with yourself, and it can really destroy your confidence really quick. And this athlete, learned by the end of this season that the more positive you can talk to yourself, and the calmer you can stay, and the more you can just enjoy yourself, the more fun the game becomes. So this person only started playing golf last year. She could always hit the ball a ton. I mean, she could drive the ball. Even her first ever match she played in, she was on the green in 2 shots. But this season, we finally started seeing her short game improve a little bit. Pitching and putting improved immensely. She improved her season average. She shot a 64 season average last year, down to 59 this year, so 5 strokes. Coach Paulson, how would you like to take 5 strokes off your game? Yeah. She put up some qualifying scores, was in the conversation for sectionals this year, but fell a little bit short. And she's getting this award because throughout the season she improved on that positive self-talk, that kind of demeanor on the course, where by the end of the season you couldn't really tell what she was shooting because she was just out there having fun. She's got 2 years left. I'm really looking forward to it. Our sportsmanship award goes to Eva Orfanos. All right, and our other golf score is just a simple lowest season average, but it really doesn't do this kid justice. She's our two-time team captain. She is one of our seniors. She's a school valedictorian. She's just an all-around great kid. I've been back coaching now golf 3 years. She's missed 0 practices, right? She's the embodiment of what a student athlete should be, right? I mean, I teach in the middle school, I get it, but when Mr. Salamone or someone gets on the announcements and says, practice today is canceled, and the kids go, yes! You play a sport because you love it, right? You should want to go to practice, right? That's where the magic happens. And that's what it was with this kid. She just keeps improving and keeps improving. Her season average last year was a 62. It was a 65 this year. She qualified for sectionals with a qualifying score of 17.6. And she went and was not seated very high, and she outshot most of the field. There were 55 people there. She went in ranked in the mid to high 40s and ended the day number 21 in the section, missed the cut by 3 strokes. Had an absolutely outstanding season to cap off a just truly exceptional career here in Ellenville. I'm very proud of her. Lowest season average, all around great kid. Whatever else you want to put on the trophy, you can. Megan Wright. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Coach Mead. As you can see from the increase in numbers, the roster size continues to grow. From the amount of detail that Coach Mead puts into his presentation, the program is in good hands and will continue to move forward. Next up, I'd like to welcome the varsity baseball coach, Coach Kavanaugh.
Thank you, everyone. Just before I start, I know it's been said, but it can't be said enough. Big thank you to our athletic department, Mr. Salamone right here, and just as important, Miss Orr, we love you, and thank you for always having a smile on your face every day. As soon as you walk into the office, it's nothing but positivity, and I love that, and so do the students. So thank you, Kim. All right, real quick, I'll keep this as brief as I can, but also by paying respect to our athletes. I'll announce the roster first. When I say your name, please stand. Freshmen, if you're here, Cody Randazzo, CJ Hamill, and Cage Burns. Sophomores, Caden Wardinsky, Joe Valenti, George Rowe, Tyler Dams, Landon Cruz, and Damian Betancourt Gath. Junior, single junior, Jonathan Torres. And our 3 seniors, Jacob Wright, Jacob Roller, and Tristan Hanrahan. All right, quick summary of our season here. First, I want to thank Coach Rudinsky. He's our assistant varsity coach this year. Unfortunately, he was called into work, so he could not be here, but I want to thank him for all of his hard work and commitment throughout the season. Once again, we had a very young team with very few experienced players, and that unfortunately resulted in us not making the playoffs. And it goes to note that it also doesn't help playing in a very tough division and league for boys baseball. And on a side note, I got to give them the respect. But Spackenkill, who's in our division, on Saturday just won the state championship. Not section championship, the state championship. So it's tough when you have to play them twice every year. However, the team fought hard each game, and we got better throughout the season. One of our highlights of the season was defeating Rhinebeck at Rhinebeck, and we are only, even though these 3 players are the core of our team. We are only losing 3 players to graduation, and hopefully that will make our future bright. Some awards and certificates. With baseball, for whatever reason, I'm not sure about track, but for baseball, there's no awards from the media. They don't come out until the end of June, early of July. So that stuff I won't know, but I'm hoping at least a few of our guys make some of those accolades. All right, we have 2 trophy recipients. The first one I hand out is called the Ellenville Baseball Coaches Award. Quick synopsis of that is it is an award given to an athlete whom the coaches feel contributed the most to the team during the season, taking into account things like sportsmanship, dedication, character, and contribution to the team. So it's with our honor to introduce the 2024 Baseball Coaches Award. This year goes to freshman CJ Hamill. If you're here, please come on up. If I just saw the look on his face, like, what? I'm getting an award? But the reason why you're getting the award, CJ, you can't see, but just him walking up, the smile, the positivity, he's always there. He's a great character kid and well-deserved. So thank you from Coach Rudinsky and myself. All right, and last but not least, we have an MVP award. I think, our kids on our team probably know who's getting this, but I want to give him his respect because it's well-deserved. This player led our team in hits, RBIs, and had a .476 batting average with 1 home run that was a bomb against Millbrook. He also led the team in ERA and strikeouts when pitching. Hence, our MVP award for the 2024 season goes to senior Jacob Wright. Come on up, bud. Take your time, take your time. Well deserved, sir. Congratulations. Yep, anytime. Well deserved. All right. And that concludes baseball. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Coach Kavanaugh. I will say for the baseball team, although they struggled at times this season, their spirits were always high. They were always putting in maximum effort, which I think says a lot about their character and how we'll move forward in the future. I do want to quickly read the varsity girls golf roster. Coach Mead did send me a message saying that he's upset he forgot, so I want to make sure we recognize these student athletes. So I will call your name, you can stand up, and then we will recognize and give a round of applause to all of our varsity girls golf athletes. First, Peyton Millis, Michaela Rowe, Emmy Wilkie, Naisha Doria, Ivor Orfanos, Braylon Peavy, Kelly Wicks-Hiltz, Jesper Woodhead, and Megan Wright. All right, moving forward, I'd like to call up Coach Bonnets once again for the varsity softball team.
Good evening again. Special thank you to Coach Hemstreet for coaching Modified, and a great big thank you to my assistant coach, Coach Burns. I'd like to introduce my team. 8th grader Megan Wright. Freshman Gabby Diaz. Freshman Tawana Harrington. Freshman Nevaeh Ramos. Sophomore Lila Denman. Sophomore Ayana DeMornay. Sophomore Amora Williams. Junior Captain Victoria Bonnets. Junior Emily Chipman. Junior Veda Stewart. Junior Divine Wernick. Senior Johanna Morse. Senior Captain Amelia Nilo. Senior Jaleba Rodriguez. Senior Captain Nevaeh Roller. And Senior Amelia Torres. Yeah. The softball season had many ups and downs, but many more ups than downs. We finished with a 9-8 record and qualified as the 6th seed in sectional play, which is where we played our best game. An upset of O'Neill, the number 3 seed, was one of the more memorable games that I have ever been a part of. Timely hitting, good pitching, incredible defense, with Veda Stewart making several excellent catches. Yeah, yes. It was an intense playoff atmosphere in front of a big crowd, and it was a great, great game. This year's trophy winners. Our most improved player was a passionate softball player that we coached hard because we knew she was talented and we wanted to make her better. And this was her best season by far. She improved at the plate and in the field. Come on up, Amelia Torres. Now she's coming up. I have a second award here. It's the CCT award. And this is for winning our 2024 Cupcake Thursday competition. And if you know, if you know, you know. And I will say this, an apple pie cupcake, a spiced cupcake with apple pie filling with a cinnamon cream cheese frosting, which scored a 9.4 on the scale, was fantastic. Yep, Coach Burns. Hey, Coach Burns. Our Player of the Year award also goes to a player that really improved her play this year. She finished 3rd on our team in batting a whopping .417 as a sophomore, an improvement of nearly 300 points. She also had a positive attitude and an excellent work ethic and was really fun to coach, very coachable, and always wanted to get better. Miss Lila Denman. Yeah. Thank you. Our last award is for our MVP. In my view, an MVP is someone your team cannot be without, cannot win without this player. They come to practice every day, willing to work hard, and have a positive attitude which matches their enormous talent. This year, I felt like we had 2 of those people. And I'm awarding co-MVPs to Nevaeh Roller and Victoria Bonnets. It's our dynamic duo. They were 1 and 2 in just about every offensive category. Nevaeh batted .440, beating Victoria out by 1 point, .439. For context, the average softball player hits around 300. Plus, they probably had the toughest jobs on the field. Victoria pitched nearly every inning of every game, and Nevaeh caught nearly every inning of every game. These are the kind of kids that every coach would want to have on their team, and I'm very proud of what they accomplished. Victoria, stay a minute. Victoria was also named to the Section 9 Class B All-Star team this year. Thanks. So, I didn't get to speak about the 200 wins, and I don't want to give a long speech, but anybody that knows anything about coaching knows there were a lot of people there's a lot of people behind the scenes that make it happen. Just going to read some names. Huge thank you to these people for contributing. Miss Wiles, Mr. Chasen, Miss Borriello, Devin Kraft, John Paulson, Nicole Crum, my man Dan Cavanaugh, Kim Orr, and my partner, my wife. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Coach Bonnets. Moving forward with our spring season, we have our varsity girls spring track coach, Coach Grigliano. And we'll welcome up the entire spring track roster. I mean, coach roster.
No, I got it. So, like Mr. Salamone said, we bring all the coaches up because we're one program at the end of the day. You know, we may have boys head coach, girls head coach, assistant for whatever, but that's not who we are. We're all in it together. We practice out there every day together. So that's why we like to do it all up here together. I want to start out first by thanking our modified coaches, Coach Asarme and Coach Allhouse. We have two really good modified coaches, and we've had low numbers in the past. And as you're going to hear when I read my list and Coach Paulson reads his, we had over 70 on our rosters this year, to the point where we were asked the first one, hey, can you use one bus? And I was like, thankfully, for once, I can say, no, we cannot use one bus. So that's an awesome problem we have this year, and a lot of it is because of those modified kids coming up. So thank you to Coach Allhouse and Coach Asarme. You can give it up for him. The other big thank you I want to give is to everybody who helped make the return of the Steinoff Cup possible. Coach Paulson and I kind of had the brainstorm last year. We wanted to try to do it, but there was so much to get it into it. We didn't end up getting it accomplished last year, but it was kind of the main goal we had this year. And we had so much help from the Board of Education, the entire administration building. When, Mr. Salamone went to them with the idea and said, hey, the coaches want to do this, it's going to take a lot. And they were right away, whatever they need, this is an awesome thing. And for the fact that there was a 100% chance of rain, we got lucky. It rained for about 5 minutes, and it was an absolutely awesome night. As Mr. Salamone said before, thank you to Coach Steinoff and Patty Steinoff for lending us their name and all the support they give, helping us out with the T-shirts and anything we asked for. Thank you to our parents who were out there, doing hurdles the entire night. I see you back there, Miss Nora Roldan. You were out there the entire night on the field. Thank you to the parents that were under the tent selling T-shirts the whole night, helping out with the medals. We couldn't have done it without all of you. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and it was an absolute success. And we're doing it again next year, and because we're crazy, we're doing a modified meet the night before. So we're going to have 2 invitationals next year, and so parents, we'll see you next year. Thank you. Go for it.
Steiny, I see you in the back. Let's go. Up here. Come on. Up. Let's go, Steiny. Come on.
Oh, there he goes. He's running, folks. So along with it, when we talk about the Steinoff Cup, Coach Eccles, go ahead and hold it up. So Onteora won it for the girls, but the Steinoff Cup stayed right here in Ellenville with the boys taking the Steinoff Cup this year. Congratulations. So let's just quick talk about the girls team. I'm going to start by reading the roster. Girls, when I say your name, please stand up. We have junior Victoria Bonnets, freshman Mariana Brewster, sophomore Rihanna Collins-Cox, junior Caroline Connor, senior Soraya Cromwell, senior captain Sarai Cruz, senior Skylar Davis, freshman Emma Deshon, junior Riley Deshon, senior Iris Dumornay, senior Sarah Gonzalez, 8th grader Sophiana Jacobs, freshman Janila Jones, freshman Isabella Lewis Rivera, junior Johanna Neville, junior Isabella Neville, sophomore Kylie Oliver, sophomore Dahlia Ortega, senior Madison Pauley, junior Michaela Reyes, senior Joyce Lee Rodriguez, Freshman, Lyra Sekur. I knew I'm going to say that wrong because I always do. Senior, Captain, Dina Stewart. Senior, Lauren Story. Junior, Sienna Thomas. Sophomore, Jay Torres. Sophomore, Athena Vigo. And senior, Garciana Walters. So the girls team, we finished with a 4-2 record. We have a very large team. We're still having some people figuring things out. So there's a couple where we just got nipped by Marlboro because they have more pole vaulters. And when it comes down to it, you know, that's all it takes in track. But it was a great record. We beat a lot of teams bigger than us, so it was a very successful season. In championships, we had a 3rd place finish by our girls 4x8. That was Sarah Gonzalez, Sarai Cruz, Sophiana Jacobs, and Jay Torres. Good job, girls. And we had 10 total girls qualify for the state qualifier meet. They were led by senior Dina Stewart, who made the final in the girls 100 and just missing being able to qualify for the state meet. So good job to those girls. Now for our awards, we're going to start with our Rookie of the Year. She's unfortunately not here. We called her up as an 8th grader, and it was a match pretty much made in heaven right away. She stepped up, did exactly what she did. I jokingly told Sarai, because she was the captain, senior, and I know she's got younger siblings, and I was like, all right, your job is to follow Sophiana around and make sure she knows where she needs to be and what she needs to do. And it couldn't have been a better pair because she was never missed an event. She was at everything. She scored the 3rd most points on the team as an 8th grader, running anything she was asked to do. So our Rookie of the Year, Sophiana Jacobs. And now for our other 2 awards, we have our MVP in the field. This athlete was not a field athlete until about 2 or 3 weeks left in indoor. Said, yeah, I'll triple jump, why not? And jumped right into it, no pun intended there, and picked up the triple jump, long jump, even messed around with some high jump, where we had a very fun moment at Marlboro where I'm like, dude, you got to bend your back. And she's like, Coach, I can't do that. And explain that there's an actual medical reason why she can't. Made me feel like a real idiot. But she did everything she was asked to do, scored a ton of points, 2nd most on the team. Our field MVP, Sarah Gonzalez. Nate. There you are. There you go. And our last award goes to our MVP on the track. This athlete scored the most points in every single one of our meets this year, with the exception of one, because the Tri-Valley Invitational, it's the one meet where there's more events for throwers than there is for track runners. So she got nibbed at one meet, but she had the most points in every single meet the rest of the way out. More medals, more points, you know, more accolades than everybody else. It's crazy that she's graduating and won't be back, because I still remember calling her up as, you know, an 8th grader and a freshman, and having to miss a meet where she had a great achievement because I was at the hospital for my first son being born, and somehow he's old enough that this girl's graduating already, which is crazy. Our MVP on the track is senior Dina Stewart. Also, while we're talking about Dina, Coach Paulson and I had the honor of going to the Mahal Scholar Athlete Breakfast this morning. Both Mahal Scholar Athletes were members of the girls' track team. It was Dina as well as Skylar Davis, so let's give them a round of applause. Our Mahal Scholar Athletes. One thing I'm gonna mention that for. So now I'm going to turn it over to Coach Paulson.
I know I'm the last person to go, and it's kind of getting late, but it's going to be a long one, just letting you know. And it's deserving. Give me a break, okay? But first, I would like to just let Mr. Carter, Coach Carter, say a few words, and then we can get going.
I started my dance with Ellenville 50 years ago. And then after 22 years, I find myself back again. I find myself back at a school that's glowing with positivity. A reflection, certainly, of the young people that I have the pleasure of being around this season. I look at some of you, I don't know all your names, but I certainly recognize your smiles. Every team has its own character, certainly fostered by you parents, by the teachers, the coaches, but mostly by the members themselves. What I appreciate the most about you is how much you appreciate each other. And what I love the most about you is the kindness and caring that you show towards each other. Something that's certainly missing out in the world. And for you seniors leaving, there'll be much for you to learn out there, but there'll also be much for you to teach. And so, be the change that's needed, okay? Come back one day as I have, and it'll be fun to see you again. Much love. Bye.
All right, just want to start with thanking just Mrs. Wiles and administration who's very supportive. Also, Mr. Salmon, who is his first full year here, who was awesome. He is always supportive and present, so that's amazing. And of course, the great Mrs. Orr, who's the best, and the face of the sports and athletic department. Thank you. All right, so we had an amazing year. This is, I think, the biggest team we've had by far. I started coaching in 2016 after Mr. Allhouse stepped down, and we started off pretty rough. I think we had, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 kids tops. This year, I think we had a total of 45 signed up, finishing the year with over 30, maybe 38 kids. And finally, we had some good results because kids started to believe in themselves and kind of buy into the system. We had a 6-0 record for dual meets, so it was an undefeated season, first time in a very long time. So a round of applause for that, 6-0. We brought home the Steinhoff Cup, which hasn't been to us, and we brought it back first off, but also won the Steinhoff Cup in honor of this great man, Mr. Steinhoff. And then we'll get to postseason. So these kids, I wish I had 50 awards to give out. Obviously, there's 46 kids, so I would really love to give 10 awards, but we're going to start off with just the awards, and then we'll get to postseason as well afterwards. So we're going to go with our Hard Work and Dedication Award. This kid shows up every day. He probably would sleep at the track. Dang it, I forgot that too. All right, I'm going to do it at the end though. Switch it up. Okay, so Hard Work and Dedication Award. This kid is the hardest working kid every single day. He does more than what we tell him to, probably too much at some points. But he will literally do absolutely anything for us and for his team. At the sectional meet, I felt bad, but he had to run 3 400s and 2 100s, 100 hurdles. And he didn't bat an eye. He said, "Yes, coach." And he said, "Thank you." He thanked me for the opportunity to run, which is crazy because I tortured him basically that day. But our Hard Work and Dedication Award is Anthony Murdoch. Next, we are going to go to our MVPs. Our field MVP this year, I shouldn't even be talking about him. It probably should be Coach Carter who should be talking about him because this is his. Nothing to say. Never mind. Just kidding. We love him. He is a prodigy of Coach Carter. He has come a long way just in 1 year. He's a 10th grader. He has eclipsed 20 feet in long jump. He's over 42 feet in triple jump. He is a character, to say the least. He keeps us on his toes for sure. We'll talk about some other accolades that he won. But he's also, he placed 14th at the state meet this weekend in Division II. And he will be going to Oregon for Nike Nationals this weekend as well, coming up. Our field MVP is Christian Zielinski. He's really good at triple jump and long jump, but he's horrible at go-karts. Next, we will go with our track MVP. This guy is, once again, I could say it's about probably our entire team. They're characters in a great way. This guy, we've become really close in the last couple years. We started off butting heads during basketball season a couple years ago. And finally, once he realized that me and Coach Bonnets and Coach Kraft realized what we're talking about, he kind of liked us a little bit more. But this is his first full year at track, and he has more accolades, which I'm going to talk about again after this. The kid is just a beast, right? He's everything you want in a track athlete. He is one of the funniest kids I've ever met. He can't beat me in basketball, but this is track season, so we won't get into that. He has really stepped up and made our team a powerhouse. And because of him, I really appreciate him kind of taking a step away from basketball and realizing that he can do more than just be a one sport athlete. And hopefully him as well as this team kind of influences the rest of our school and really puts us on the map as a fantastic track program that we are. So our track MVP is Jason Kinsey. Last but not least, this kid is the definition of a character. He probably won the Class Clown Award. He is known for his great outfits and his travel plans on cruises. This kid is once again a basketball player, and he finally bought in to realizing that track is an amazing sport and that sometimes that he can be better at track and field than other sports. And when he really got a taste of how good he could be, he really bought in. He has won some other accolades, which we'll talk about. But this kid is absolutely amazing, and I think he's going to be pursuing track and field at Delhi. Yeah. So I am very excited to see how far he goes when he actually dedicates himself to it. The Blue Devils Coaches Award is Dylan Nero. So now we're going to talk about our fantastic overall season quickly as possible. So we're going to start with the Mahal meet, which is a very tough meet for us. We're a very small school. I think our numbers are 300 and something kids, and we go against Wallkill, FDR, New Paltz, a ton of big schools. So it's very hard to win that title. And as a coach, as a kid, Mr. Allhouse put together dream teams, and we won it once, and I took that for granted because it's almost impossible for a small school to do it. Twice, yes sir, twice. And so it's really tough, but we had some Mahal champions this year, so I want to recognize them. So first, we are going to go with our pentathlon Mahal champion, Dylan Nero. And I'll talk about him a little bit more after, even though he didn't win anything, but it's okay. Our other Mahal champion is 10th grader Christian Zielinski.
You lost your box, so.
He actually lost it. I didn't break that one. We have one more Mahal champion is Jason Kinsey. And a third place, our 4x1 in the Mahals is Jason Kinsey, Pedro Bonachia, Kwaku Bohan, and Anthony Murdoch. What? Marcus Lewis Rivera, sorry. Where's he at? Is he here? Let's go. Okay, we'll get your medals later. All right, on to sectional championship. So, once again, sectionals is kind of our Super Bowl. It's where we can compete against schools our size. And I think this is the first time we really said, like, if we get the kids to come out and buy in, we're really going to have a chance to win. And it was very nerve-wracking. And as a coach, usually I'm just like, whatever happens, happens. But it was an intense day. And for the first time since, I believe, 2011, we were able to come out on top as section champions of Class C in 2024. So So now we're going on sectional championships. We're going to talk about our winners. Okay. Our winners at sectionals is, oh man, I might have lost that. Triple jump, Christian Zielinski. Jason Kinsey, 200. And our 4x1 of Pedro, Henry Jones, Kwaku, and Jason Kinsey. Come on up. Last but not least, one of the best kids ever, and I'm so happy that he also had a fantastic ending of the year. He made it to Syracuse this weekend and got 10th overall in Division II, and he's also sectional champion, Devon Douglas. Next, we're going to go on to our state qualifiers. We had a bunch of kids qualify for state qualified meet, and 3 athletes actually qualified for states. One who went on the senior trip, which is completely fine because he did his job and helped us to a sectional championship, is Jason Kinsey in the 400-meter dash. Devon Douglas, high jump. And Christian Zielinski, triple jump. So many of you might be wondering where Wilson's luscious locks went. So he made a bet with the kids, if anybody makes a state meet, that he will let them shave his head. And at first you're like, yeah, okay, like that's not gonna happen. And as soon as they qualified, we showed up on Monday and we ordered 20 pizzas, and he sat down like a champ, and whoever qualified got to take the buzzer and shave off his luscious curls. So shout out to Wilson. Take a bow, take a bow, take a bow. All right, now I want to save the roster. I want to call up everybody. In every other sport, if you win a sections, you get a medal and you're kind of recognized as a team. But track, you're not. So I would like to call everybody up who's on the team. Once I call your name, please come up. We can hold up the plaque in front of everybody and celebrate one last time. Okay? So we have Nyshawn Abney. 9th grader Jonah Allhouse. 9th grader Isaac Calderon. 9th grader Ezekiel Cromwell. 9th grader Giovanni Gonzalez. 9th grader Osmond Hope. 10th grader Xavier Brown. 10th grader Hayden Budd. 10th grader Miguel Caba. 10th grader Jonathan Conacher. 10th grader Caleb Dwy. 10th grader Cassius Gray. 10th grader Henry Jones. 10th grader Evan Levine. 10th grader Frankie Maldonado. 10th grader Winley Omar Martinez. 10th grader Kai Murdoch. 10th grader Caleb Noraldon. 10th grader Scott Ramos. 10th grader Austin Salstrom. Sorry, this is taking forever. 10th grader Charlie Velez. 10th grader Christian Zielinski. 11th grader Malik Barrett. 11th grader Kwaku Bohan. 11th grader Pedro Bonachea. 11th grader Alan Ebrick. 11th grader Marcus Luis Rivera. 11th grader Wyatt Marinico. 11th grader Anthony Murdoch. 11th grader J-Rod Neville. 11th grader Nohan Oliver. 11th grader Elijah Robinson. 11th grader Fuad Soccer. 11th grader Nathaniel Valdez. Senior Tristan Albert. Senior Devon Douglas. Senior Jason Kinsey. Senior J3 Javen McComb. And Senior Dylan Nero. Guys, why are you hiding back there? Go up front. Let's go. Do it up. Do it up. Do it up. Yes, you can lift it up if you want. Just get up there. And your 2024 Class C boys, Section 9 champions, the Allenville Blue Devils. Here we are. They're going to send them all. It doesn't even matter. All right. Told you that was long. I'm sorry, Coach. I know you're looking at me. Yeah. Sorry.
Guys, you won a medal, get it after.
Good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you once again to the boys track team. Give them a round of applause. Gentlemen, you can head on back to your seats. Thank you very much. There you go.
Get off the stage.
There you go. All right.
So we'll get those medals later.
Yeah, Coach. thank you once again to our varsity track program. As you can see from the number of student athletes, the amount of accolades, the amount of awards, that really they're heading in the right direction. They have a lot of support around them, involving our student athletes, involving our parents, and really it's attributed to the great job of the parents, but also of all the coaches. And I just want to make sure, although I've only been calling up the head coaches, I want to make sure that we acknowledge, and the head coaches have done a great job, all the assistant coaches, the volunteer coaches, they all come together really to make the program what it is. So thank you once again. Oh. Now I want to acknowledge some of our scholar athlete teams for the spring season. Our boys varsity track program, our girls varsity track program, varsity softball team, and girls varsity golf, all qualified as scholar athlete teams. Let's give them a round of applause. And just like in the second marking period and the third marking period, we had a number of athletes who qualified as scholar athletes as well. So I will read off that list, and if you could, please stand up, and then we will give a round of applause to those student athletes as well. And again, this is student athletes with over 90% or higher grade. Sophiana Jacobs, Megan Wright, Nishawn Abney, Jonah Allhouse, Mariana Brewster, Cage Burns, Isaac Calderon, Emma Deshawn, Conway Hamill, Osman Haik, if I mispronounced, apologies, Isabella Lewis Rivera, Lyra Sakir, Miguel Cava, Rihanna Collins Cox, Leanna Denman, Ayana Dumernay, Cassius Gray, Evan Lamine, Caleb Noor Roldan, Etiano Orfanos, Braylon Peavy, Scott Ramos, Keely Wicks-Hiltz, Victoria Bonnets, Carolyn Connor, Riley Deshawn, Marcus Lewis Rivera, Anthony Murdoch, Isabella Neville, Joanna Neville, Fuad Sucker, Soraya Cromwell, Soraya Cruz Olivero, Skylar Davis, Christian Dumernay Lopez, Sarah Gonzalez, Matthew Jones Redner, Daniela Membrano, Salas Millis, Dylan Nero, Jocelyn Rodriguez, Nevaeh Rolla, Dina Stewart, Lauren Story, Austin Wood, Jonathan Conacher, Joshua Liverdew, Alan Ibrick, Christian Zielinski, and Megan Wright. Once again, let's give a round of applause to all of our scholar athletes. And although that was a long list, that's a good thing because, again, it acknowledges and shows how great our student athletes are doing, how they're excelling on the floor, on the court, and also in the classroom. So before we conclude for the night, we want to recognize some of our year-long awards, some of our awards that span over the course of the year for the student athletes' accomplishments. So there's two of those awards. The first one is the Varsity 8, which acknowledges and recognizes our student athletes who over the course of their career have earned a minimum of 8 varsity letters. So I will read off the student athlete and their number of varsity letters as well as the sports they have participated in. When I call your name, please come up and Coach is going to give us a hand and hand out the awards. So first, I don't believe this individual is here today, but Billy Magoa has 8 varsity letters in cross country, indoor track, and spring track. And we can give a round of applause to all of our student athletes. Next up, we have Jacob Roller with 9 varsity letters for football, wrestling, indoor track, and baseball. Next, we have Lauren Story with 11 varsity letters in soccer, indoor track, and spring track. Jacob, please rejoin the stage. Congratulations. Next up, we have Garciana Walters with 9 varsity letters in soccer, indoor track, and spring track. Next, we have Jacob Wright with 9 varsity letters in football and baseball. Next up, we have Skylar Davis with 9 varsity letters in field hockey, indoor track, and spring track. Next up, we have Nevaeh Roller with 8 varsity letters in tennis, soccer, basketball, and softball. Next, we have Dina Stewart with 10 varsity letters in field hockey, cross country, indoor track, softball, and spring track. And lastly, of Amelia Torre with 8 varsity letters in volleyball and softball. Let's once again give a round of applause to our varsity 8 winners. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And lastly, we have our Lamps of Knowledge. This is for 3 varsity sports seniors with an over 90% GPA. First, we have Skylar Davis. Don't sit down yet. Next, Sarah Gonzalez. Dylan Nero. Sarai Cruz. And lastly, Soraya Cromwell. Once again, let's give a round of applause to our Lamps of Knowledge Award winners. Thank you, Coach. Oh, we can get back up for a picture. Thanks, Coach. So once again, congratulations to all of our award winners tonight and all of our student athletes in general who have done a great job working hard this winter and spring sports season. Yeah, track on the mind after hearing so much track acknowledgments. But again, overall, all the teams did a great job. Before we leave, I was given a poem of sort to present from one of the student athletes who thought that this poem, this piece did a good job of highlighting what it's like to be an athlete here in Ellenville. So I'm going to read that in conclusion of our night. Winning is simply a mindset, however, that is only developed by outstanding individuals. It's not about talent, it's about effort. Effort will get you the win when talent is having its rest day. Effort will drive you home when everyone expects you to give up. Winning is not some special reward only reserved for the lucky among us. If you ask those who failed, they will tell you it's luck. Winning is a reward you receive when you have to put in the hard work, when no one is watching. Winning is for champion attitudes and champion hearts. One moment is all it takes. One moment to never again say, never again will I accept anything but first. One moment to make myself stronger, to separate myself from the rest. If you outwork your opponent day in and day out, you will beat them. Then come game day, winning is what happens when your effort is stronger than your opponent's hope. This is your time. Refuse to give up, never settle for less, and win at all cost. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you everybody for coming.